So right off the bat, I want to apologize for the quality of the game. I'm recording this on PS4, a base PS4 on 720p through like the in-game recording. So if it looks like shit, I'm sorry. But other than that, you know, these are my first couple games playing Modern Warfare 2, and it's the direct sequel to 2019. And we're just gonna go straight into my impressions and then just talk about what I think. So right off the bat, gunplay is pretty much the same as 2019 for the most part. Whether or not you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I guess is subjective. I enjoyed 2019's gunplay, personally. I thought it was fun, and it was a very strong deviation from what we were used to. So I'm glad that it's pretty much back in full force with some minor changes here and there. Overall sound in the game is very, very good. Again, 2019 sound was crazy, so it's at the very least on par with 2019, which is a good thing. Although it is very loud. Footsteps are like stupid freaking loud in this game. Recoil is probably the one thing that I have the most contention with, at least for some of the guns. The first gun you're most likely going to use is the M4. And the M4 has a dog shit amount of recoil. And it's very weird because it's not like recoil like we're used to where the gun just kicks up and to the right like other Call of Duties. No, if I had to explain it, is the recoil is like the game has axes. It's got X, Y, and Z axis. Like X is horizontal, Y is vertical, and Z I guess would be like forward and backwards. And the M4 has a shit ton of recoil going in the Z axis. So like the iron sights or the red dot or whatever you're using, instead of going up, goes forward and backwards, which I guess is more realistic to what it would be like IRL. But it's really, really obstructive and annoying with how much it shakes, and it's so violent. Combine that with muzzle flash if you're not using a suppressor, and gun smoke when you're shooting at stuff, and it can become a mess. And speaking of like overall visibility, I don't know, maybe it's I'm on PS4, and maybe I'm on like a TV instead of like close up to a monitor, but sometimes it's really hard to distinct people and your teammates, because I constantly am turning corners and running around and having teammates shoot me, and me shoot teammates, so it can kind of be a disaster sometimes, where like you think you swing a corner, it's a person, but it's just a teammate, and then you let your guard down, and then someone else swings a corner, and then it's not a teammate, you know? But overall, you know, visibility, I don't know how they can make it better. Maybe like make the nameplates above people a little bit bigger and a little more obvious. But other than that, it can be rough on some maps, and then depending on the map and stuff like that, it's not too bad, but it is noticeable sometimes where I was like, oh, well, I'm shooting a lot more teammates than I normally do. Speaking of maps, it's hard to tell after playing, you know, for like a day. It's hard to tell which maps are good and which ones are bad. The hotel map is alright. The one that's outside, that's almost kind of like favela, like one level favela, is very nice. I actually like that one a lot. I forget that, I don't know any of the names, and then the one that has like all the inside with the inside CQB, almost like airsoft area, and then like the outside area is good too. I wish I could have played domination on that map, but unfortunately I was just playing TDM. I would have loved to see like what it was like if there was an objective in the middle of that. That would have been cool. Kill streaks in the game are pretty boring, unfortunately. They'll never be as good as like original Modern Warfare 2, which is what I think some people were expecting, which is never going to happen ever again in a Call of Duty, so just unfortunately that's just the way it is. But UAV is easily the best kill streak in the entire game. It's really strong because Ghost, the perk to counter it, is very hard to get. It's not just you just throw Ghost on and you're just invisible. So UAVs are incredibly strong in this game. Combining that with their 4 kills now instead of 3, and it's like, okay, well, if you don't have hardline, then it's kind of difficult to get your first streak going, you know? Speaking of perks, they're doing something interesting with the perks where you pick 2, and then, you know, if after you accrue a certain amount of like invisible points towards that your next perk, you get a more powerful perk, and then if you keep going and you can do really well, then you get like an ultimate perk, which is where Ghost is. I don't know how I feel about this system. It's interesting that they tried to shake it up, but like I feel like this is the most restrictive they've been with giving us access to perks. You know, pick 10 in Black Ops 2, in Ghost, the way you perks were tied to your loadout, so the more things you had on your character, the less perks you got. But at the very least, there were a crap ton of options, but things like Strong Arm in this game are just terrible. Like, Strong Arm literally makes it so you only see the trajectory of your grenade when you throw it. Like, that is a full perk slot in this game, which feels lacking to me. I don't know. Some of the perks are good, like Quick Fix is incredible. I like Scavenger. Scavenger's great. I use Tracker. That's fun to see footsteps. Ghost is obviously still strong. EOD's great. So there are some good options, but there are some that make me go like, why is this a perk? This should feel like this should have more to it. But overall, the UI elements, especially if we're talking about like the gunsmith section of the UI elements, is rough. It's confusing. It doesn't make a ton of sense. It's fairly disconnected. But the overall aesthetic for the game is very nice. Like the in-game menu music is great. The how you navigate certain menus is cool. But I'm talking about specifically like the gunsmith menu is confusing, and there's more buttons to press to get the things than you probably need to. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm being nitpicky. I don't know. But after playing for a day and then getting my classes, and I was like, all right, well, let me make a class, see what it's like. And sometimes you have to jump through some hoops to get to some things. Like, oh, I want to see, I have the M4, I want to see how I unlock the other, because they're all talking about the lower receivers being like the main thing of this game and how you can change them out, and you don't have to level up every gun a million times to get all the attachments, which is cool. That's very nice. But how they display that information to the player is kind of rough. But again, maybe I'm being a little harsh on it. It just felt a little weird to me. Quality of life features that have come to console especially are great. There's a ton of graphical things you can do. Again, I don't see all of them because I'm on PS4, but I've seen people on PS5, and all the different things you can turn on and turn off with the settings is great. The fact that console finally has an FOV slider is so massive, dude. That is incredible. It sounds stupid because, PCs are like, yeah, we've had that forever. But for consoles, that's a game changer, man. That is really, really cool. It's great that they're adding so many changes and focusing a lot more on console because, that's a huge market for them. And the fact that they're putting this much attention and love into giving the console as many options as they can have without, ruining the game experience is fantastic, and I really commend them for that. But my overall impressions from again, I haven't played a ton. I've played about a day. My overall impressions is that it's 2019, but with new stuff. And I enjoyed 2019's multiplayer. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. The grind was fun. But I have concerns. I don't know, maybe this is a beta thing, but I was experiencing a lot of hitching while running around and walking and playing. Again, maybe this is fingers crossed, it's a beta thing, and it gets ironed out, and then the experience is even better because I'm going to get it on PC, and it's going to be really fun. So I'm hoping that this stuff all, gets figured out before launch. They still got about a month before it happens. It's October. But after watching the event, I think it was last week, and seeing Warzone 2, I have, my biggest thing with Warzone is that I wanted it to go back to the way Blackout handled weapon customization, where you find a gun, and you have to find the parts in the map and basically build the gun and tell the story, instead of buying loadouts. But I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as Warzone 1, which is disappointing. I feel like, for me personally, this is a complete subjective opinion, but the loadout system is just almost lazy. I don't know, maybe it's kind of a strong word, but it just feels like it doesn't tell a great story. You do some bounties, you get 10k, you go to a store, you buy a loadout, now you're kidded. And that can happen very quickly if you're good. You drop at a hotspot, you get a couple kills, you hit some chests, and you get some money, and then you buy a loadout, and it's like, okay. But Warzone, I'm definitely gonna try it and see what it's like. They have done some things to make it different, but I hope that it's not so much the same as Warzone 1 without the other Call of Duties, that it's repetitive. And then obviously DMZ, they haven't said anything about it. They haven't shown anything about it. That's probably the thing I'm the most interested in trying. Because if they, say it's a infill-exfil situation where it might raise some Tarkov flags, it's like, okay, I want to see what this is like, and I want to try it and give some impressions. And, for a big company to actively try and maybe potentially make something akin to Tarkov, like a Tarkov Lite or something like that, I want to try it and see what it's like. But these are my very quick overall first impressions, knee-jerk reactions to playing Modern Warfare 2. I think it's cool. It's more of 2019, which again, it's not a bad game, at least in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm hoping that some of my concerns can get ironed out, or maybe get explained in the full game, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But, it's great. So I hope that the game, when it comes out, is, full, it works, there's no bugs, anything like that. But other than that, if you wanted some quick impressions, there you go. I didn't have a script, so this is why it sounds as weird as it does. I got some bullet points that I wanted to just hit on really quick. But if you stuck around for the video, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. If you haven't gotten a chance to play it, if you have a PS4 or PS5, you can download it for a couple days. And other than that, I hope to see you in future videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Target area marked! You're loading
Solid
fresh
copy.
mag!
Tiger 4 launching SAE. Inbound hot. Good effect.
I've got your back. Switching mags!
Hostile UAV in the area. Got your back. Enemy UAV active. Oh. Hostile mortar strike near your position. Hostile SAE near your position. UAV on scene. UAV overhead. We've got him on the run. Keep it up.
Covering your 6.